Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 5. The chapter which we are related with is accounting ratios. As you can see that income statement is given separately, balance sheet is given at next page, and little bit easier for us because there are 6 ratios and that is already been decided. You will not have to bother which ratio we are needed to calculate. All ratios given over here are to be calculated 6. So we are very clear. Income statement is given, balance sheet is given, and ratios which are required given clearly. So we are very open to start this question. First ratio which is required is current ratio, and we know it how to calculate. First we need current assets and it would be divided by current liabilities. Let's put a divisor, and current assets, I am sure that you people know assets which can be converted into cash within shorter period of time. Here in balance sheet, this is your second page. Balance sheet is given. There are 5 assets: land, plant, stock, debtor, cash. And you are well aware land and plant are fixed asset, stock, debtor and cash, these are current assets. So we are now open to write these current asset. First asset is 149, 71, 30. 149, 71 and 30. So in this way our current assets completed, and now we are going to apply our current liabilities. Left side, these are liabilities: capital, reserve, current and profit loss account. Please underline this account. Whenever you will see this account, it means it is accumulated profit related to previous years as well. So in this meaning, in this way, this profit loss account is also for the longer period of time. Reserve and capital, we have already understood, these are long. So only current liabilities provided over here is 1,30,000. Just put it out. In this way, we have completed our list of current assets and current liabilities. So now we are open to calculate them. Here just put, and we are going to calculate sum of all current asset. Yes, now current liability sum is already been calculated. Current asset divided by current liabilities, we have our first answer of current ratio, and you can see first answer is 1.92 and our answer is also 1.92. So in this way current ratio is being calculated. Next we are required to calculate liquid ratio. This formula you are well familiar. You need liquid assets and you will divide with current liabilities. Let's put a divisor, and since we have already performed current liabilities, we will be taking these values for the time being, and these values would be used to calculate liquid assets as well. As you know that in liquid asset we do not take stocks and prepaid, and here the value of stock is 149. So this is direct method. You will only be removing stock from here. So in this way liquid assets are calculated. Second method is indirect. Liquid assets are calculated by subtracting stock and prepaid from current assets. This is our formula for liquid asset. Though we already have calculated liquid asset, but this is indirect method. Current assets we have calculated to 50,000, just put, and we need to subtract stock. And as you know that stock value is 149, so just subtract 149,000. There is no prepaid in this question. So we can indirectly calculate liquid asset as well. Here some value has not been written properly. 250,000 minus 149,000. So we have got 101,000. Alright. So here we can also calculate directly, which we have written over here. First, let's calculate liquid asset. It should be equal to 101,000. Alright, you are now come to know, you have now complete idea how to calculate liquid asset directly. Just do not write stock over here, and indirectly you can apply this formula. In both ways you will get the same answer. Now we are open to calculate liquid ratio, liquid asset divided by current liabilities. So we have our second answer, 0.77. Look, liquid ratio 0.78, round it up as 0.78. So in this way, two formulas are completed. Number 3, which is required, is operating ratio. I'm hopeful that you people have learned the formula of operating ratio. For that, what you will do, cost of goods sold, and then you will add operating expenses. This you will write at upper side. I'm going to make it visible for you. There are two things, divisor, and then you will be dividing it with sales. So let's write down over here. Now there are two methods which we will discuss over here. Look at your first part or first page of the question. Here you will find out your cost of goods sold. Again, there are two methods. You know it very well. We have previous chapter of cost of goods sold. First method of cost of goods sold calculation is opening stock. Then you will add your purchase, then add direct expenses, after which you will subtract your closing stock. In CGS chapter, we have already discussed it. This is first way to calculate your closing stock. And here we can use another formula for cost of goods sold, which we have already discussed during lecture. CGS can be calculated by taking your sales, just subtract gross profit. This way, these are two formulas with which you can calculate cost of goods sold. In both ways, you will get the same answer. And surely we will try to apply both. But first, since this formula is little easy for us, so we are applying it. For that, we need sales. Let's get back. And this is your first page. And sale is already provided 8,50,000. So here 8,50,000, and now you need to subtract your gross profit, which is also given. Gross profit 3,40,000. Please note very carefully. Gross profit 3,40,000. So here just write down 340,000. Now we are open to calculate value of cost of goods sold, which is 5,10,000. Alright, so here we are going to apply our formula. Cost of goods sold is already calculated. Now operating expenses. This is our second requirement, and that is operating expenses. And for that help is present in our question. And as you can see that, look, this is heading operating expenses and this is your heading non-operating expenses. It means these three are operating. So our problem has been sorted out. We do not need to have any hard work. Operating expenses by heading is given in the question. So 30, 150 and 15. Here you will write 30,000, 150 and 15. I'm hopeful that these were the same. Let's confirm it. 30, 150, 15. 30, 150 and 15. Yes, we have written correctly. And here we are now open to calculate the value. So guys, this is value of operating expenses and this is value of your CGS. For our formula, just sale is now needed. Let's put these values little downward so that we can have proper space. Once again, operating ratio, you do need cost of goods sold and operating expenses. Cost of goods sold you have calculated by subtracting gross profit from sales, 5,10,000, and next was operating expenses required and we have calculated by taking help from the book. Now just apply these values to their places. 5,10,000 is cost of goods sold calculated over here. 195 is operating expenses, just put over here. In this way, value of our formulas is completed. Now let's calculate them. First, we need to see cost of goods sold plus operating expenses, its sum, and then we need to divide it with sales. So we have got our answer. Now please understand how we have calculated cost of goods sold, how we have calculated operating expenses, and then we have put it over here. I'm actually going to write it over here. 2.65 is 62 is your answer, and what we have calculated operating ratio. Let me check. 5,10,000. How we have written this 5,10,000? Cost of goods sold was calculated sale minus gross profit, cost of goods sold plus operating expenses. Let me see. Okay, 5,10,000. So here you will write 5,10,000 and then you will add operating expenses. So how many are operating expenses? 195,000. Just put 195,000 over here. Why it is not adding? Actually there is little trouble. Again 5,10,000 and you need to put 195,000. Yes, now it has been written. So we are now open to calculate its value. First we will calculate cost of goods sold plus operating expenses. Here calculations are completed. Value of sale. Let's get back to the question. Value of sale is 8,50,000. And here 8,50,000 you will be posting. So in this way 8,50,000. Now it's okay. Okay, we will repeat it once again and then you can multiply it with 100 as well. So similarly you will be multiplying over here. Oh God. So let's bring these values little more down to create our space. Okay, I'm repeating everything again. Cost of goods sold, for this we have a formula, sale minus GP. What you have done, you have got your sales 8,50,000, GP 340, and same you have put over here, with the help of which you have got your cost of goods sold. Then for your formula you need operating expenses. For operating expenses we have gone to our question, heading was written operating expenses. You have collected these three as operating expenses, posted over here. In this way 195,000 operating expenses. So cost of goods sold 510, operating 195, sale 85, 8,50,000 given in your question. After which now we will just calculate it, how your cost, sum of cost of goods sold and operating expenses divided by sales, and then you need to multiply it with 100, here putting brackets. So our answer is 82.94 or 83 it can be called. So here you can see operating ratio is 83. I'm suggesting you to repeat it for 2 to 3 times so that you can understand, but before that you must have this formula in your mind. Cost of goods sold, operating expenses, sale. Cost of goods sold we have calculated by subtracting gross profit from sales, operating expenses given in your question. Both values were written over here. Sales also given in your question, you have written over here. Multiply by 100, you have got the answer. So guys, in this way our three formulas completed. Now we will see what is our fourth requirement. Stock turnover ratio. In fourth, we will calculate stock turnover ratio, and that would be calculated by taking CGS, cost of goods sold, and it would be divided by average stock. Cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Luckily, cost of goods sold has already been calculated. We are taking this value over here. So cost of goods sold 5,10,000 already calculated. Now we need to calculate average stock. And for average stock, you need to have opening stock, then you will add your closing stock, and this opening and closing stock would be divided by 2. Here let's put the divisor, and it would be divided by 2 as I have earlier mentioned. Now let's get back to the question. Here we have value of opening stock 995 and 149. So we are going to put 995 and 149,000. I am hopeful that this was correct. 149,000. Closing stock, opening stock 99,500. So we have added both of them, and then we need to divide it with 2. In this way, divided by 2. In this way, our value of formulas have been completed. We are now open to calculate. So for that, we need to add 99,500, then 149,000, and this would be divided by 2. So we have got our answer. This is your average stock. So both values are calculated. CGS divided by average stock. CGS 510, average stock 124250. So here this was your cost of goods sold, and this is your average stock. We will simply be putting a divisor, cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Now we are open to calculate. This is your cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Answer is 4.10. This we have calculated stock turnover ratio, and 4.1 it is clearly mentioned. Now next formula is return on total resources. Fifth, here let's put fifth, return on total resources. And I expect from you people that you know the formula of return on total resources. Here just we are going to put it. First, you need to have net profit, and it would be divided by total assets. So our formula has been completed. Now we need to have our net profit. What is easy in this question? Everything is given. Look at here. Net profit is already available. You do not need to calculate it. So 150,000 net profit already available. Here just put 150,000. And the next thing is total asset. And can you believe these total assets are already available? Balance sheet, assets, and this is total of asset side 4,80,000. So just put 4,80,000 over here. So net profit divided by total assets, values are written. Net profit divided by total asset 4,80,000. 0.3125, and look at here 0.31 return on total resources. This has also been calculated. Now at number 6, what we are needed to calculate, turnover on fixed asset. So here turnover on fixed assets. I am 100% sure that this formula is also in your mind, and it is humble request to please learn and memorize these formulas. For turnover, we will put CGS. Again, CGS has already been calculated, and we will take it and divided by total assets. So in this way, look at here, CGS has already been calculated. Taking it from above, just put it over here. So cost of goods sold 5,10,000. The second thing we need is total asset, and again we do not need to bother about that. Why? Because total assets are also given in your question. As you can see, these are for turnover on fixed assets. So we need to put fixed assets. Alright guys, let's see how many fixed assets we have. Look, it is so simple. These three were current assets, remaining two are fixed. And secondly, we do know that land and plant both are fixed asset, 150 and 80. So here fixed assets are 150 and 80. Let's calculate it. In this way, both values we have determined. Please note, we were in need to have CGS, that is 5,10,000. Let's put it 5,10,000, and then we need to put fixed assets 2,30,000. Let's put a divisor. And now we are open to calculate our answer, CGS divided by total assets. So guys, in this way we have 2.21. It was our final answer, 2.2, and here we have 2.217. When you will round it out, it will be 2.2. So in this way our question has been completed. Please note it down. First ratio was current ratio 1.92. 1.92 your current ratio. Then we have calculated liquid ratio. Answer was 0.77. Liquid ratio 0.7. And then we have operating ratio, which is 82.9. Operating ratio 83. Round figures are mentioned over here, so you may call it 83%, and here you may call it 0.78%. All right, so three answers completed. Then we have calculated our fourth requirement, third requirement, and then fourth requirement was stock turnover ratio. Answer was 4.10. So here we have stock turnover ratio 4.1. Then fifth answer was return on shareholder fund. And this is fourth was stock turnover ratio, and stock turnover ratio 4.10. 4.10. Return on total resources fifth. This is return on total resources 0.31. 0.31 return on total resources. Turnover of fixed asset number 6, and the answer is 2.21 or 2.22. Here you can see 2.22. In this way we have reviewed all the answers. Question was very interesting and 6 ratios were required, and we have calculated all of the ratios. Answers are matched. In this way question has been completed, but even in presence of solution, I am requesting you to please revise this question for 2 to 3 times so that you can come to know what problems you are facing. And I am requesting you to share your problem through messages, text, or you can directly contact. I will 100% be available to answer your queries. So it's time to end our lecture. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.